Do you want to get the best possible audio in a variety of uses or applications? Well, stay tuned and I'm going to show you how to do just that with what the PR-4 has to offer. Hi, this is Ron Nutter with another edition of TechBytes with Ron Nutter product reviews. Today we're looking at the Deity PR-4, which is a 4-input, 6-track field recorder and 3 things you need to know about it. If you get value from this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. I'd really appreciate it. And let me say up front, this is a very initial pass at this recorder. I've been using it for a little over a week and got it into my workflow pretty quickly. There's still some things that I'm trying out, but this is, how can I say this? This has exceeded my expectations, and I was trying to be realistic in what I thought I could do. Anyway, down to business. Thing number 1, think of this as a Swiss Army knife of field audio recorders, because your imagination is probably going to be the limit of what you're going to be able to do with this. Now, on the side, it has 2 XLRS or TRS combo inputs, so you can either use an XLR male to female cable, or you can use an XLR female to TRS cable. So it will take both. It also has a 3.5 millimeter input. This is a little different from both. This is what I'm going to call a stereo connector. So I actually went and found a special cable that would plug into it, and I'll have links to this in the description, that would break out that 3.5 millimeter to 2 XLR cables, so you get your 3rd and 4th input in that way. Thing number 2, and this was the saving grace for me. I was looking at a second recorder initially just as a redundancy, because I've had the mute be stuck or card started having a problem, and this one gave me, well, probably the best of both worlds, because I'm not sure I've heard of another field recorder that has the dual media slots. So it protects you against media failure. So there's a built-in 64 gig that you can't replace. Hopefully, Deity, if you're hearing what I'm doing, you'll make the next one a second one, or give us the ability to hook in a external storage source. Then you have the other SD slot that's in the back in what I'll call the battery chamber. That's what will let you put the card of choice in. So the ideal setup in this is going to be, you put a 64 gig card in it, so that way it mirrors exact size against what's on the internal. And the big thing is it protects you against media failures, because you don't want to have media go out on you while you're recording. At least this way, if the internal were to go bad, you've got your SD that you plugged in. If your SD goes bad, well, you've got the internal memory. So I think you see where this is going. Thing number 3, this can be powered by 3, I can't count today, different power sources. You've got the internal NP550 battery, you've got the external via USB-C port, and then there's a 4-pin, what's called a push-pull DC power input. Now that probably only if you're a professional would you be set up for that one. Word to the wise here on the internal NP550s, you can get one from Deity. It is a higher capacity, almost double what the NP550s that I've been using for several years are. Keep in mind, if you're using third-party NP550s, be very careful. I have had batteries get stuck because somebody didn't engineer it right. Now, it looks like Deity did this right, because I can get the battery in and it will spring release, but if you get that thing stuck in there, it's going to be a booger getting out. So just do a very careful fit. Don't just jam the battery in, but just slide it in. If you feel much resistance, back off and maybe try a different battery. And you can power it via USB-C. I did some testing one time with powering the recorder off of my laptop, and it didn't work so well. Now, I've also got a 10-year-old MacBook Pro, and I was picking up severe hum. Now, that may have been just because I was powering off the USB port. I do want to try getting a USB-C power brick and see how that works. But generally, if you're going to be doing recording, go with internal battery and maybe have several batteries to go with you there. Thing number 4, and this is a bonus, this is something more than content creators can benefit from. And let me lay out some ideas for you here. With it having multiple mic inputs, and this is a, yeah, it's a little bit bigger than a box of cigarettes. Like I said, I'm impressed for what it does. It's a plastic case, but Deity didn't cut corners. Lawyers can use this in deposition. So you could have one mic on the person answering the question, one mic on the person answering the questions, and you could deploy 2 additional mics. And there's an auto mix function that it will automatically de-emphasize the mics that it doesn't hear audio coming in from. Again, we didn't talk about that, but there's a lot of functionality here. If you're a genealogist, make audio notes as you're tracing a family tree with input from family members in real time. So because there's things that you may hear from them that if your mind drifted, you might not make a note about something they had said. Family historian, and this is the part, this hits home for me because I missed an opportunity with my parents to get a lot of the family history that I was not aware of. Record the family history from those who know it. This can be done at a family picnic. You can spend several weekends with somebody. The more history you want to gather, the more time this will take, but it's going to be documenting something that once they're gone, that history is gone. Family storytellers. Now, this is where it can get fun. You can record the stories from the family members who either know it or created information. So that's something you can get some real sides, but or something that may have not seemed funny at the time. It has a lot of information. I mean, for example, I didn't know until my mother had passed that she was a valedictorian. She never mentioned that one, only in going through paperwork. So there's something I would have liked to have known more about that. Also, voiceovers. This is something, voiceover is a technique where off screen, whether you're a narrator or an actor, you basically read a script and then that's inserted over film, commercial, documentaries, and you not physically there while this is doing it. So this is another thing that this can be used for. So take a look at this one. There's really a lot to be said about this, and there's only just a few places outside of Deity that you can get one at the time of recording. This is in July 2026. If you get value from this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.